Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the beautiful world of Luca and Lorraine. We are here today in our beautiful studio in Reggio Emilia, Italy. Our new video will cover 4 clear aspects of dancing: balance, balance of movement, communication between man and woman, and music and purpose. The first point today is how to learn and understand new information. We have 3 levels of understanding: mental, physical, and emotional. As an example, if you had never seen an apple before, I could tell you the apple is green, that an apple is round, that you can cut it, that is generally white inside, that it grows on a tree, but you still do not understand what an apple is. I may show you an apple. Now you have a little better understanding, but you still don't know really what an apple is. If you hold the apple and you start using your senses, so if I touch it, if I smell it, and if I eat it, then I can really understand what an apple is. So the information you will receive on this video, you must first of all understand here. You must then practice your exercises so that your body understands. You then need to taste, smell, touch those movements, and only then you really understand. So you will need to watch the video 1 time, 2 times, 3 times. You will need to practice the exercises until you create a taste for the movements, so that then your emotional understanding will control what you do. So, my darling, would you like a taste of an apple?
Sure.
In life, the path to happiness is found in balance. In dancing, the path to happiness and to excellence is found in balance. Therefore, today we will discuss the understanding of personal balance and balance of the couple. But before we go into details, mechanical details of how we can achieve this balance, we need to understand what is balance. Balance is a weight fall without side load. I will repeat this because this is very important. It's a weight fall without side load. So as an example, if we take a tennis ball and we allow this to fall vertically, as you can see, this will have a vertical weight fall. Now, that same feeling we must find in our body. There is no resistance, and there is no angle in the way this weight falls. Therefore, from now on, any time on this video I discuss balance, you must think vertical weight fall. Now, if we relate that to our body, we must first of all understand that there are 2 parts: lower part, upper part. Our lower part works the same way as a table works. So if we put a weight on a table, that weight wants to fall down and the legs are supporting upwards. This is the normal way we naturally carry our body. Later we will understand more in details how we can find an exact vertical weight fall also through the leg action. But the part that is most important and that is very often misunderstood is the way we carry our body weight on the upper part of the body. We carry our weight in a counter-lever system. The easiest way I can explain this is if we take, as an example, a shelf. The shelf has no legs, but is sustained by the bracket that is attached to the wall. This bracket, that is normally an L shape, is what is sustaining the weight that we put on the shelf. So I now need to feel in my spine the weight falling through it. And the spine carrying, therefore, the weight of my head, the weight of my shoulders, the weight of my rib cage, and the weight of my hips. Therefore, I want no feeling of my weight being carried upwards by using the front muscles of my body, because this is the same as if I hold the ball in my hand and I don't allow it to fall. So for this ball to fall, I have to let go of the tension in my body. Therefore, I need to allow the front of my body to relax in order for the spine to carry my weight. So if we look at the side view of my body, I do not want to carry my head from the front muscles, but I want to carry my head weight by using the positioning of my spine, the repositioning of my spine, and again leaving the head weight to fall through my spine. The same goes for my shoulders, the same goes for my rib cage, and the same goes for my hips. Therefore, in the way I carry my weight, I feel very posterior in my body. So as I find my correct posture, I am not aware of my body, but I am aware of finding that correct vertical weight fall through my spine. So in general, I believe this is a different approach to posture, where the general approach is to use muscles to connect the body. My guidance, what is telling me if I have a good posture or a bad posture, is my awareness of weight fall. So we said balance is a vertical weight fall with no side load. We said that the feeling through the spine is for the weight to be very posterior, to fall like water through my spine. Therefore, now I will allow my body to adjust and to modify for me to find that weight fall with no tension in my body. So I want to feel, again, side view. I want to feel the weight falling through my spine, vertically, entering my hip joint, and positioning the weight from my hip joint to my ankle. So in this way, I allow my structure, my bone structure, to carry my weight. I repeat, I allow the bone structure, and therefore not the muscles, to carry my body weight. So I have generally a very clear feel of hanging, my body hanging, all the joints being free, all the muscles being as relaxed as possible, because balance is a vertical weight fall. Now earlier I mentioned about side load in the body. What do I mean by side load? If my weight is not falling vertically, but is falling at an angle, either forward angle or backward angle or right angle or left angle, I create a side load. We are in Italy, so why not mention the Tower of Pisa? So if you visualize the Tower of Pisa, the part of the ground where the tower is leaning will need much more power, and it's always under stress to sustain the tower wanting to fall. Therefore, at home, if you're practicing this and you're shifting your weight slightly to your toe, you should feel that the thighs and the feet are now engaging in order for you not to fall. The same happens if I'm standing too far to the right. Now I feel the right thigh, my right side, and again my foot are holding on in order for me not to fall. If I do start with a side load, or I dance with a side load, those muscles that have to engage cannot respond in a coordinated way to the rest of my body. This is why the understanding and the awareness of a vertical weight fall is very important, because only if I am totally vertical through my weight, my body can now be totally free to move in every direction. So what I would like you to do, I would like you now to actually pause this video, stand up, and try to find and to experience that vertical weight fall. Now, once you have experienced this, and once you are aware of this very stable, very grounded, very powerful position, I want you now to understand that we must separate our body weight position from our body movement. Therefore, we do not want to move our body and our weight at the same time and in the same way, because this would be a constant readjusting from one side load to another side load, to another side load. Therefore, what we will see now is exercises that I would like you to practice in order to separate the weight position from the body action. So, these exercises are based on a very simple concept, counter rotation. What does this mean? This means if I have only one tennis ball in my hand and I rotate this tennis ball, as you can see, especially from a side view, as the ball is now rotating, my weight position is changing on my foot. Therefore, I go from a front side load to a back side load. The same goes if we are discussing about sway. If I do a sway to my left, now I have a left side load. If I do a sway to the right, and as you can see, I'm rotating the ball as I'm doing this, I also now have a side load. So please just follow me for 1 second while I get a second ball. If we now go to the concept of counter rotation, and instead of only creating a rotation with one ball, we are creating a double rotation. So now, as you can see, we have a double movement which neutralizes itself because it's the exact opposite. I can apply now this in this manner. I can apply it in this manner. I can apply it in this manner. I can apply it in this manner. Therefore, when you are learning about these movements, you always have to find a counter rotation in your body. Counter rotation within which part of the body? Within your joints. Therefore, if we first of all visualize one ball, one big sphere, so not a tennis ball, but bigger, more like a football, and we place one on our upper spine, and we place one on our lower spine. So now we have upper spine, lower spine, which are going to counter-rotate through the movement. This is the first basic movement that your body should do in order to separate your balance position to your moving position, to your body moving. So let's try this. So first of all, let's find the vertical weight fall through the spine. So we are relaxing our muscles. We are allowing the weight to fall through the spine. We now connect hip joint to ankle. We keep our feet apart. We find that very relaxed, nearly meditation mode position, where everything feels relaxed but powerful. Now, from this position, we visualize the football in the upper part of the spine and the one in the lower part of the spine. And we start to create a counter rotation. This is your first movement that you must practice. When you're practicing this movement, please do not try already to think how this will work in your dance, because it will not only be this movement, it will not be only the next movement we will show or the next, but it will be a combination of all these movements that will create a beautiful line and a beautiful shape and all the things you wish to have in dance. Therefore, while you see these exercises, do not close your mind, but keep your mind open, apply them, and you will find the true benefit from understanding how to separate weight position to body action. So let's try this one more time. We are finding our weight position. We're letting the weight fall through the hip joint to my ankle. If I show you the side view, again, you can see I'm very posterior in my weight fall. Now from here, this is the first movement. So we are rotating and counter-rotating at the same time. As I do this exercise, I do not want to shift my weight forward or backwards, but I want to center my weight and keep my weight perfectly still as my body is moving. So when you practice these exercises, you must be totally aware of your weight position. So you should practice them slowly, not for too long, in order to keep the concentration and the awareness of weight. So let's move now to the second exercise, which is the lateral plane. So we have now done the frontal plane, and we are now moving to the lateral plane or sway plane. Again, let's visualize the two spheres, upper body, lower body, and now create a counter rotation in a lateral manner. Once again, as I said before, do not try to guess now how you're going to apply this exercise and this movement to your dancing. It will come in naturally, and it will not look as strange as it does when you're practicing it at a separate exercise. So once again, we are centering our weight position. We are feeling the weight going through our hips to our ankles. And we are now creating a lateral movement. Again, we are allowing the joints to be free. We are not using the muscles to create these movements. We are flowing the movement through our joints. As you can see, my weight is not shifting as I do these movements. The weight stays centered. When you practice this, it is good for you to practice in front of a mirror, looking at yourself straight in your eyes, so that the head does not change position as you do it. So, frontal plane, lateral plane. Now let's talk about rotation. Generally, rotation is also used over one movement only. Now, to simplify things, at the moment, I will give you a very easy exercise you can practice for rotation, which will only relate to our shoulders. Now, if I try to rotate my shoulders in this manner, I am actually turning the whole body. The trunk of my body, my spine, everything's turning in one piece, and this is no good. So now I visualize two spheres, one on my right shoulder, one on my left shoulder, and they also now create a counter rotation. The shoulders and shoulder blades are now counter rotating in order to keep the balance still. Okay, now just to give you an idea of the result of this, if I chose to do a promenade position, and therefore I now applied frontal plane, lateral plane, and the rotary plane, this would create a very acceptable promenade position. Nothing strange about it. Why? Because I'm now starting to combine three planes of movement. Please do not worry if you don't yet understand fully the exercises. In a very short while, all my team will join me to show you the exercises. But before that, one more movement, which is very important. So I now would like you to visualize one sphere on your right hip joint and one sphere on your left hip joint. Generally, the tendency is to rotate both in the same direction. Of course, it's very clear now to see how much side load I have. The same goes for the backwards movement. Now, if I want to truly have a free leg able to swing in my movement, I need to feel the counter rotation in my hip joints too. So I'm now going to create a counter rotation through my hips. If I show you now this movement sideways, the non-correct movement would be something like this. The correct movement would allow me to keep my vertical weight fall. The same if I move backwards, it would allow me to keep a vertical weight fall. So now you can see my free leg is swinging, but my balance is not affected. Once you manage to master one sphere, two spheres, three spheres, 4, 5, and 6, you can now start to move your body in a very fluid way without affecting your balance position unless you wish to. With a true balance, you will be able to be stronger, more powerful, more free, and this will give you the total freedom of expression in relationship to music. But now let's bring in my team of friends and great dancers, which will present for you these exercises once again.